Okay. Do you want me to put it in this thing?
We got 6 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, very nice.
Good. Stand by.
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Courtney Miller and today I'm going to be talking about vaccinations. So, vaccinations, they can prevent millions of deaths each year, and they can also save hundreds of millions of dollars in healthcare costs that we can use towards, other things than preventable diseases that vaccinations can, take away. So, today I want to persuade all you guys how important it is to have the state make vaccinations mandatory in school districts, and as well as eliminate all exemptions from these mandatory vaccinations except for medical exemptions. I have 2 kids of my own who will be going to school in the future, so I've done a lot of research on the pros and cons of vaccinations, and also, the risks that my children will face, going to school with unvaccinated children as well. What will happen when we start mixing, a lot of vaccinated and unvaccinated children together. So let me go over real quick what is required so far on a state-to-state basis as far as vaccinations. Right now there's 10 children vaccinations that you can get. The state of Nevada, we require 6 of them. So, that's pretty good. Connecticut requires all 10. They're the only state that requires all 10 vaccinations, and the state of Montana only requires 3. So you're probably like, okay, 6 is pretty good, well, why are you talking about this? I'm talking about this because there has been a huge increase in the amount of exemptions that are being filled out, that are, have no medical justification at all. So this is what worries me, is we're going to start getting more and more unvaccinated children in our school districts, and that's why I'm talking to you today about eliminating those unnecessary exemptions from the school systems. So Nevada right now, we allow medical exemptions, we allow religious exemptions. However, several states allow philosophical exemptions and also personal belief exemptions. It's these personal belief exemptions. They've increased from 1984 to 2004 alone. They increased by 6% each year based on a study done by Dr. Kazan or something like that. I can't even say his name. But he did a study, and that's only increasing each year. So these studies, there's not a whole lot of medical justification behind why parents are signing these. And, I'm going to go into a couple of reasons, why they've become popular. A huge one, which you've probably heard, is autism. Everyone's kind of heard vaccinations might cause autism. There was a study done by Andrew Wakefield in 1987 that linked the vaccination MMR, which is the measles, mumps, rubella vaccination, with the likelihood of your child getting autism. However, since then, there's been several studies done by scientists that have proved that there's absolutely no correlation between autism and vaccinations. In fact, they're finding now that autism is caused before the baby's even born, before they receive any kind of vaccination. So since then, Andrew Wakefield, the guy who posted this article in 1997, he has actually lost his license for falsifying information and for unethical conduct in this article. Another huge reason why parents are signing these exemptions, they believe their infant's immune system may not be strong enough. You are injecting a small amount of the disease into the child to build up these antibodies, and parents are like, it's too much. The dosage that they give the babies in these vaccinations is so small. In fact, the bacteria that a baby touches every day is greater than the amount that they'll get from this vaccination. It's negligible compared to what they, come encounter with each and every day. So your baby can handle these immunizations. They're spread out. It's strategic so that they, will not have, any severe adverse reactions from it. A lot of parents think natural immunity is better than vaccine-acquired immunity. And you know what? That can be argued, and that can be true. However, it's, a baby touching a table like this and getting bacteria, you know, that's good for them. That's bacteria that they can fight off. You know, you shouldn't be dousing your baby's hands with Purell every object they touch. You know, that kind of immunity is good for them. However, we're talking about, you know, deadly diseases, things they can die from. You know, is that something you want to risk, you know, not getting your child vaccinated? Lastly, parents believe vaccinations are unsafe. Vaccinations go through very rigorous testing to make sure that they're safe and effective. The American Academy of Pediatrics goes over it, the Centers Disease for Control goes over it, and they all make sure that, you know, it's safe and effective for your children. So, you know, it's these unnecessary exemptions that have no, you know, background to support why parents are signing these. So I'm going to talk now about how the mixing unvaccinated and vaccinated children affects, you know, the schools in general. The CDC did a study saying that vaccinations are, you know, only 85 to 95% effective. So parents might ask, you know, why do you care if my kid's unvaccinated? Your kid's vaccinated, they're not going to get anything. You know, that's not true. All kids, there's a small percentage of kids who they can't actually develop the immunity that they need. Their bodies aren't physically capable of doing it. So this, you know, these are the kids that get sick, the ones that can get immunity from it. It also puts infants at great risk. So if your kid gets sick from an unvaccinated child and brings home the disease to an infant who can't even get immunizations or vaccinations, they could die from that. You know, that's something to think about. You're putting a sibling at risk at home who you know, doesn't have the ability to protect himself. And a study done by vaccine.gov stated that since 2010, there's been 10,000 to 50,000 cases of whooping cough each year, and 10 to 20 babies have died each year from whooping cough. Like, we can prevent this. Like, this is totally unacceptable. Like, how are we allowing this to happen? Also, something called herd immunity. The people that can't get vaccinations for medical reasons, they are protected by all these people that are vaccinated. They don't bring in diseases, they're protected. When you bring in more and more unvaccinated people, this herd immunity will break. And these kids that can't get vaccinations for medical reasons, they'll get sick and they could potentially die. So, you know, I'm going to talk quickly about how, you know, the benefits of it. We've heard a lot about it, but plain and simple, it can save your life. It can save your child's life, it can save your family member's life, it can save your grandparents' life. People who have cancer, like, they're susceptible to this as well. They're safe and effective, okay? It saves money. And according to a study by publichealth.org, it is riskier not to get immunizations than it is to you know, it's riskier, yeah, not to get them than to get them. The less money that it takes a lot less money to prevent a disease than to pay for it in hospital bills. And for every dollar spent, based on a study by Immunize for Good, every dollar spent, you get $18.40 back. So it's a huge return financially. So this is being done in California right now. Senate Bill 277 just passed it. They eliminated all exemptions but medical, and it's working great for them. So in conclusion, childhood vaccinations, they save lives, they save money. It's vital to our society and children to limit the amount of exemptions. It will save, you know, lives and money all around. So I encourage you all to do it, or to vote for it.
No, it was 8:45.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh my gosh.
So you just
Still on.
hit
Please show the
stop.
audience. It's okay. Sorry.
You're very passionate about it, though. That's
I
what
am
matters.
very passionate about it. I didn't even state all my facts. Oh, let me get my notes.
Sorry.
It's